just following what I'm told to do. I was told to deliver this message to you guys. Whoever resonates with it, you resonate with it. But the disclaimer is that this may piss some people off because it's raw, it's true, it's straight from the ethers, honey. Hot and fresh off the hot and fresh off the grill, okay? First of all, something very significant with MK Ultra. Okay, now I, for whatever reason, wrote down the names of some of the survivors according to the internet. Kathy O'Brien, Claudia Mullen, Paul Bonacci, I believe it's pronounced, and then Elsa E. Okay. Now I have several card decks. I know I've never really delivered a message of this caliber on this page, channel, whatever. But yeah, this is your disclaimer. So, okay, the body keeps the score. That's a book, right? But like, I concur, the body does keep the score. There's something significant about trauma and how trauma has triggered some type of awakening. Okay, so where this could have, I'm not even gonna say where it could have, I'll say where it has in the past, um fractured somebody's mind. Okay, and not just one person, multiple people. For whoever this is that I'm speaking to, your mind wasn't fractured, your mind was opened. Okay, and it come to find out that's all you needed was to have your mind cracked open. So because your mind is cracked open now, you're you are gaining attention from people. Well, you're not gaining attention from people that you didn't already have, but they're on the edge of their seats now because they're waiting to see what you're gonna do next. Because they're like, wait a minute, I think they might know something. Like they're feeling like a little, you know, they feel like you know something. Okay, so whoever I'm speaking to, you have some gift of sight because it's opening up. All right, and the people who have been watching you, and I feel like this is more of like a, you didn't realize that they were watching you, but they've always been watching you. um they're watching you now, but like in suspense, because they're like, wait a minute, if they know, then nothing is going to work out the way that we planned, because they planned on you not knowing. But because you know now, something is changing, therefore the intensity could be also increasing. Like, you could feel as if the attacks are getting worse. You could feel as if your downloads are getting more clear, more, there's just more clarity. But at the same time, there's a need for more spiritual protection, a need for more just like isolation right now. And I'm not saying isolate forever, but like, sometimes the hermit gotta go in the den, right? So the hermit is in the den right now. That's the energy that I'm getting. Like, you need to step in the den because you got a lot of attention on you, and that can be energetically draining to you. Okay, because there's more than one way to drain somebody, and you don't have to be in the same vicinity as them to do it. Proximity is not required in order to have certain attacks work. Okay, now whoever I'm speaking to, you have mixed blood ancestors. Okay, ancestry that's mixed blood. Like, you got multiple different backgrounds. Okay, and I'm not talking about in the way that like everybody's a melting pot at this point. I'm talking about in a way where on one side of your family you could be Mexican, and on the other side of your family you could be something else, something to that caliber. Okay, but whatever the case may be, look, past trauma, literally exactly what I'm talking about. Your trauma woke you up, though. This is a good thing. Like, the trauma was horrible, of course, the trauma was terrible, and I'm not saying necessarily that it was MK Ultra, but your parent could have been someone that was part of MK Ultra. And it's like, because your parent was part of MK Ultra, then it's kind of like inherited trauma. Either your parent was MK Ultra and experienced some type of psychological fracturing, and then you came into this world and had something similar, okay? Or I don't know. This is psychological warfare, okay? You're supposed to have like a particular mentality that's about destruction, though. Like you're supposed to feel like you don't belong. You're supposed to feel like you're an outcast, okay? Churches, cults, and cult leaders who are losing their cloak is important, okay? Now, churches, cults, those are two different areas, so we'll pull separately for that. And then cult leaders who are losing their cloak, this is cult leaders who are, oh boy, all right, it takes a lot of energy to talk about this stuff, so let me just say that. But these cult leaders are witchcrafters, okay? They practice black magic in order to maintain their power, in order to maintain their position of, like, they are disguised, like they're hiding in plain sight, okay? They're not even disguised. That's the thing. Like, those who have sight can see these individuals, and this is the point. This is why you're supposed to be silenced now, okay? You see too much, they're scared. They're scared. Everybody's scared. Okay, so people think that you can see their demons. They feel like you can see through them, and if you can see through them, then you know the stuff that they try to hide. And if you know the stuff that they try to hide, then you immediately become the most dangerous person to them, okay? This is why you're always on the radar. You're always on the radar because you're shit. You're always on somebody's radar. Like, your eye is always open. It's like literally giving the energy of that eye on Lord of the Rings, I think it is, where the eye is just like always wandering around looking, that all-seeing eye, omnipresence type vibe, okay? Somebody thinks that you have that. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. It's just crazy to me because I'm definitely reading for a whole new collective these days, okay? Human trafficking is significant. Also human like organ harvesting, okay? So human trafficking in conjunction with organ harvesting is important, because if not all that are trafficked in the same way. Some are trafficked for certain purposes, but this trafficking specifically is organ harvesting, okay? So we're talking about deaths. Now, these deaths could, I don't know. When I started doing these downloads, when I started writing down these downloads, the thing that came to me was the dead want to be heard. Okay, so I don't really know why. Like, this is gonna take me a minute to get into this, because if they're trying to be heard, there's some type of misconduct. There's some type of something is they didn't get justice. Okay, and I feel like this has to do with organ harvesting, but maybe it has to do with something deeper too. Okay, if the dead are trying to be heard, they're trying to be heard, though, and I'm definitely gonna allow them to have their moment in court. Okay, because some people do die without getting the justice that they deserve. Some people do die under false pretenses. So the storyline that's put out ain't necessarily what the real truth is. Okay, type of vibe. They think you give a fuck, but you don't. Like, you do not care who hates you, because you hated you at one time until you found out who you really were. And then you're like, no, I love me. So now your love for yourself is so strong to the point where no one can alter that. Okay? There's something with deception, like you feeling deceived. That's because you were under some type of illusion. Okay? This is an illusion spell meant to keep you feeling like things are supposed to feel distorted. You're supposed to feel like your reality is distorted. You're supposed to see things from a totally wrong vantage point. So whoever you think you are, that's not who you actually are, type of vibe, you know? So I feel like this is something, I'm talking to somebody who been experiencing this outcast energy, black sheep energy, rebel energy, disruptor energy since you were a kid, okay? You've always been the misfit. And because of that, it's like, people knew that you were going to be the one that did not go with the crowd. Those who don't go with the crowd are the ones who will be exposing the shit that people want to hide, okay? This is why certain people, they feel like they have to they ghost you, they leave you because they know that they know that you can see. And if you they don't always know like, oh, that you know in that moment, but they can see that you can see through them. And because you have that gift of discernment, they get scared and they get the freak on. Okay, so I don't know what this is about, but I'm getting a white lizard, a white snake, a white supremacy. Listen, they all go hand in hand at this point, right? Maybe you don't, maybe you're like a antisocial socialite. Like you spend most of your time by yourself, but that's because not enough people. This, what does it say? Indecision. Okay, not enough people relate to you, but that's how it's supposed to be. When you are a chain breaker, you are like the oddball. No one else is doing what you're doing. Duh, that's why you're the chain breaker. So there's something significant about you stayed resilient. Man, I don't know. I feel like no matter what they did, even if you may have been under some type of illusion, like it was a partial illusion, because there was something with you that always kind of like knew still was like, no, this is what it is. This is what it is. And it's like that voice has been trying to overpower all the other voices that were in your head at one time. Now, listen, hear me out. Maybe these voices were in your head because when you experience what you experience by way of others, and I feel like this is people meant to create adversity so that you can feel unsure about yourself, so you don't feel confident in yourself, so you feel like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me, I'm weird. You know what I mean? Like if you feel these things, then of course you're not going to do what you really came here to do, which means that then the people who have been creating the illusions and stuff, they continue to do what they want to do. Okay, they continue to reign, and all those who should be getting what they deserve will still not be getting what they deserve. This is why the dead are speaking. The dead are speaking because they're like, listen, you could kill us, but you can't silence us. Yeah. You can kill us, but you can't silence us. Some way, somehow, they will make sure the message gets out, because there will always be a messenger. But that's why you got to use your discernment, because there are a lot of messengers who are they're not giving the messages that are helping you move forward. Period. Okay, so just make sure that you use your discernment when it comes to who you're listening to for your messages. Period. Okay. The trauma tapped you in deeper though. Like you knew, but you didn't know the way that you know now. You're connected now in a way that you have not been before, because that illusion is worn off. Okay, the disillusionment has literally been caused, though it's a domino effect of the trauma. Everything that they did just like pushed you out of that like illusion. Okay, don't get carried away. Like what this is now that you know who you are, don't get in that ego trap. Okay, don't fall into the ego trap, because even us, those of us who've experienced the ego deaths, and you know what I'm saying, we now doing what we're supposed to do, we still stand a risk of being seduced by the ego. Okay, if you're not rooted, if you're not balanced, if you're not maintaining the highest frequency. When you don't maintain a higher frequency, it's easy to get seduced by the ego. Okay, so make sure that you are not getting too big for your britches type of vibe. It's like, and I'm not saying that you're not bigger than your britches, but you got to pick and choose your battles. Okay, not every battle is meant for you to. Spirit does not want you to go out there trying to be just starting fucking sword fights with everybody, because some fights ain't sword fights. Okay. You're gonna show up with the wrong tools. Okay, because some of these fights are meant for the divine to battle. Okay, so your mom could have been brainwashed. All right, I'm hearing Lavelle or Lavello. You're irritating people's demons. Something significant about Omar Epps, because I got higher learning. the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. So somebody that experienced some type of psychological programming, somebody was a victim of psychological programming, and it doesn't have to necessarily be MK Ultra, but somebody experienced some type of traumatic programming, right? And then they're passing it on. It's like whatever they experienced, they're now doing that to others. Okay. Trauma and secrecy. So like something sometimes trauma is so bad to the point where like sometimes an experience is so bad to the point where you have to keep it a secret, because it's like, hello, the ramifications of not keeping it a secret may be too it's like something just may be out of your range of control. You know what I mean? So it's like when you've experienced something that's like you don't have enough support, you don't have enough allies, you don't have enough resources, like you have to play your cards right until you have what you need. Okay. Yeah, somebody, the spell, and when I say somebody, there's multiple people, want you to feel like you're losing yourself, like you're not who you think you are. Your confidence is what's disturbing these people. I'm telling you that right now. Like, you being hella confident is like causing them to be fearful as fuck. Also, beware of getting lost in a person, okay? If you feel like you're lost in somebody, that could be a spell too, okay? Because you should never feel lost in someone. You should always have a good grasp of your own identity still, no matter what the relationship is. You need to have your own life, okay? If you're always up under your partner 24/7, that ain't never good. That means that's an unhealthy relationship. That sounds like an energy vampire to me. You know, to be up underneath somebody 24/7, yeah, that's an energy vampire. You don't never see nobody else. You don't never hang out with no other friends. You don't never get other perspectives. You don't never see nothing other than your person. Yeah, that's not healthy. Yeah, demanding. Somebody's very demanding. Somebody is very controlling in general, okay? Stop trying to fix this individual, okay? Whoever you're dating that is very controlling. Stop trying to fix them and focus on getting free. Focus on a plan to get free, okay? Because that's sometimes you can't just, you know, sometimes you need a plan, okay? There's someone who is notorious for projecting onto you, who is currently trying to project onto you, and this is why you need to keep your vibration high, okay? Because somebody wants to be seen as perfect. They want to be seen as better than you. It's like, no, you're bad, so you better show that you're bad. Like, that's what somebody's doing. They're trying to project. They're trying to get you to act out a character so that then they can prove that they're the better person. Ugh, it's very sick. Very sick. Let's see. Somebody could feel like you're constantly playing hard to get. I'm not trying to be funny. I don't like this person's energy, though. I really don't. Like, this person feels very stalkerish. You could be a lone wolf. Clearly you are. If I'm saying all this, you're someone who doesn't have very many people that you relate to. So of course you're a lone wolf. Somebody's comparing themselves to you. They feel as if they feel like you guys are supposed to be in different. You are supposed to be in their position, and they're supposed to be in yours. That's how they feel. Okay. You deserve an amazing relationship. Take steps to heal your doubts about yourself, okay? This is confidence. Anxiety, again, somebody's projecting. Well, I don't even feel like this is somebody projecting. Somebody's afraid. Okay, let me see. What is this? What's going on here? This anxiety. I got the spy detective music playing because I said it's kind of giving that, like Hansel and Gretel breadcrumbs, like you get into the truth one breadcrumb at a time. I'm also getting that is Six of Pentacles energy. You could do something with, like, you could feed the homeless, okay? You could be one of the people that are here to feed people, because like the breadcrumbing message kind of translates to you get something, you gain pieces of information, and then you give that information to other people, or you gain pieces of, you're gaining something and then you're passing it on. You feeding people, okay? I don't know. There's, that could be literally feeding people, like with food. I don't know, because with the sun card is here, so this is vitality. You give people energy. I just heard you give me butterflies. I'm hearing that Alicia Keys song, you give me butterflies. Wow, with the Ace of Cups. Yeah, people really love you. People love the fuck out of you, actually. With the Two of Cups here, people want to be in your energy so bad because there's something so magnetic about you, even though you also have that eye thing going on where like you can see stuff, you know, like, so those who are truthful, those who are honest, those who have nothing to hide, they don't mind being around you. Those are the ones who don't leave. Those are the ones who don't act weird. Those are the ones who don't switch up. Those are the ones who do not talk shit about you as soon as you got to move forward without them, because sometimes that be like that, because you are a pioneer. You're not supposed to be listen, everything ain't for everybody. Imagine trying to put yourself in a particular category and you were never meant to be categorized. Crazy, right? It's like you limiting yourself. I don't see the benefit in that. So maybe people are, this person is anxious because this is a couple, okay? There's a couple here, and there's one person in particular who feels very anxious, all right? This person is anxious because of how they feel about you, all right? Now, I guess the anxiety would be because they're in a connection with somebody else. They have a partner, but at the same time, they feel something for you, okay? Yep, here we go. Here we go. Here we go again. So, oh my gosh, this couple is doing, okay, this is how this happened. This couple has been doing spell work against you, and I'm specifically getting voodoo, okay? I'm specifically getting dolls, I'm getting puppets, I'm getting putting your name in a shoe, I'm getting mirror magic, I'm getting freezer magic, I'm getting all of that. Okay, people are just trying a bunch of different things. That's what it is. So as much as it may feel like chaos magic, it's creating a bunch of chaos because it's too much magic being used, but it's being abused and it's being misused. So when I say used, I don't even mean appropriately. I don't even mean properly. It's like somebody's not even playing by the rules. Therefore, whatever they're trying to accomplish isn't working. It's like, how did you think that you could do whatever you wanted to do, and then you were still gonna get the result of that particular founding thing? Because this is something that's already like rooted, you know what I'm saying? It's the equivalent of like, you could rewrite the Bible, but like the Bible was already written, right? So you can't like rewrite the Bible now and be like, the Bible, this is the real Bible. No, you can't. That's, yeah, somebody's trying to make something authentic that was already authenticated. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm gonna say this. It's a whole lot of illusions in this mother. Okay, who is this? Saturn energy here, Capricorn, Aquarius, okay? 10th house, Capricorn, okay? So reputation, your 8th house, and then Uranus, okay? Actually, that's Pluto. reputation is the 10th house. So I'm going to say this. This sounds like a repeat of this thing that I said on the other channel, okay? If for some reason somebody is trying to tarnish your name in order to gain clout, that's not going to work, okay? Because even if they were able to, let's say, get a ticket to the event, once they showed up at the event, they have to dress the part. And then once they dressed the part, showed up at the event, and then got in the door, they still got to be able to maintain the part, right? Somebody's performance is going to flop. It's like you don't have the right ingredients, so you're not going to... Okay, you know what? I'm not about to... No. That's it. I'm leaving it here because I'm not about to... No, I'm not about to repeat myself. No, immediately no. Whatever somebody... Listen, until you do right by the collective, every mother freaking thing you think about is gonna fail, okay? Thank you. Don't come again.